Thank you. Well, you got Texas, and now you got Virginia. I stand here as the proud first Black woman representing Virginia in Congress. And I'm here to give you some historical context, because in Virginia, we are steeped in history. We are the birthplace of American democracy. We're the first representative government in the Western Hemisphere, met in Jamestown in 1619. And the only people allowed to vote were white, land-owning men. Where a month later, the first recorded Africans arrived on our shores, including women who were traded as property. Where a few months later, they realized that if the colony was going to be permanent, they needed wives who were recruited but given no rights. They could not vote. They could not own property. And what property they came with became the property of their husbands. We are the birthplace of Thomas Jefferson, who at the Continental Congress, in a committee with John Adams, 249 years ago yesterday, Abigail Adams implored them, remember the ladies, and be kinder to them than your ancestors, meaning give us some rights. They didn't listen. And Mr. Jefferson's declaration said that all men were created equal and endowed by their Creator with inalienable rights of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. He didn't mean me. He did not mean me or any of the women standing behind me. We are the birthplace of James Madison, the architect of the Virginia Plan that created the Constitution, a government by, of, and for the people. I spent a lot of time pondering what that meant as a child. It means that government reflects the perspective and therefore meets the needs of the people who participate. But for most of our history, until after the Civil War, the only people allowed to vote, hold office, and participate were white, land-owning men. The struggle of our country has been, how do we make the ideal upon which we were founded true for everybody? It's been fits and starts. It's been a long, bloody process. But in 1870, the formerly enslaved Black men were granted the right to vote, only to have it stripped away when Reconstruction ended, and a wave of voter suppression constitutions across the South put poll taxes and literacy tests in place. Women gained the right to vote in 1920, but those same poll taxes and literacy tests kept them from voting if they were Black until the Civil Rights Act, when we finally began to make progress. Along the way, in the midst of World War II, we said, if you are dying for your country, you should be able to vote for your commander-in-chief. So we allowed service members to register and vote by mail. All of that is under attack in the SAVE Act. The SAVE Act is a poll tax. Just like the poll tax my father paid in 1947 in Nashville, Tennessee, the receipt he kept in his Bible, and that is the Bible I took my oath of office on. You may ask, well, how is the SAVE Act a poll tax? Because the only forms of ID permissible to prove your citizenship cost money. Here's a list. Real ID, $42. Passport, $130. While a military ID is free if it's issued, if you don't register in person under the SAVE Act, you're out of luck. Birth certificate from a state agency, a certified copy in Virginia, that's $12. A consular report of birth abroad, $100. A certificate of citizenship, $1,385. Whether it's the roughly $2 that my father paid in 1947 or $1,385, 1 cent is too much. It's a poll tax, which is illegal under the 24th Amendment. And as you've already heard, for women who have changed their name, maybe if you bring your entire chain of custody of documents to prove what the changes your name went through, maybe you'll get the right to vote. But we have come too far to go back. Because in a democracy by, of, and for the people, every time we have made progress in reaching the goal, the ideal upon which we were founded, there's a backlash that involves propaganda, non-citizens voting in elections, even though there's no proof in large numbers. It involves violence and insurrection on the Capitol when you didn't win at the ballot box, and voter suppression. This is the mother of all voter suppression. This is the 2025 poll tax. This is Jim Crow 2.0 that tells women, that tells low-income people, that tells the disabled, that tells our veterans, that tells the homebound seniors, you cannot participate. You are not among we the people. And that's why we voted no. And I'd now like to turn this over to DWC Member Rep Maxine Dexter.